Morning, everyone. I, Dr. Sheetal, President, Institutional Innovation Council, Jaipuria Institute of Management, welcome you all in this panel discussion session. We have with us our Honorable Director at Jaipuria Institute of Management, Professor Devinder Nara, respected Deans, Professor Vandana Ahuja and Dr. Ashwini Vashne, distinguished faculty colleagues and our dear students. I extend my hearty welcome to the panelists. Now I request our respected sir to share words of wisdom and welcome our panelist in the discussion. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Very good morning to all the panelists. I'm very happy to see you on the one platform to today talk on the topic which is very burning in these days, innovation and startup ecosystem. Because from the top to bottom everybody is talking on this. Our prime minister is also these days very having a concern on to build up India, to make in India, and they're talking on the startups. So and we also expect from all the budding managers, those who are joining us in the management program, to instead of looking for the job, they should start the entrepreneurs. They should make the entrepreneur, and to create the jobs for the people. So in this lines, we are also doing we set up a institution innovation council, and from last 1 year we are making some contributions. Our student is also coming with the good business ideas, and few of them is also we have went for the patent and going for the copyright. So there are small intervention is coming from our side also, being an management institution. But really we want to build up a strong ecosystem in our institute also, in this incubations and the innovation and the entrepreneurship. So therefore we always required a expert voice, and the people those who are already into the system and having a voice in that. So in this regard, this is one of the discussion we are going to have today. So on this platform, first of all, I welcome all the the expert. First of all, my friend, Professor Dr. Rajkumar Singh. He's the chairperson, Center for Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Skill Development of SMS Varanasi. And also recently he's being on board on as a associate dean in Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow, as the associate dean in innovation and incubations. I welcome Professor Dr. Rajkumar. I also welcome Dr. Abha Rishi. She's a CEO, Atal Incubation Center. She belongs to BIMTech and having a very large experience and in the industry and the academia. And also she's chairperson for Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development. Welcome, ma'am. I welcome Ms. Shama Jha. She's a social entrepreneur and the marketing strategies founder, Millet Magic Foundation brand. Welcome, ma'am. I also welcome Ms. Kunal Jha. She's presently the founder of Innovatory consultant, and also she's having a expertise in in the IP protections, licensing, contract, open source, so, and also delivering a lot many discussions and the lectures in this arena. I also welcome Dr. Isha. I think she must have joined, or maybe likely to join us, soon. She's a faculty in recently. She's a associate with the Chandigarh University, and she also had a very good work in this area, and also has lot many patent and copyright, and we know her from the last so many years. So I welcome all the panelists on this discussion forum today, and I hopeful it will be very fruitful and for our new students and the existing students. So once again, thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Ideas are cheap, ideas are easy, ideas are common, everybody has ideas. Ideas are highly, highly overvalued. Execution is all that matters. So with this objective, let's formally start this discussion on innovation and startup ecosystem. Every panelist will have 10 minutes to speak about the theme in the first round. In the next round, we will discuss variety of the issues related to innovation and startup ecosystem. To create an ever-evolving ecosystem of startups and entrepreneurs, Atal Innovation Mission, an endeavor of Government of India, has been establishing world-class incubators called Atal Incubation Centers at universities, institutions, and corporates. These centers aim to foster and support world-class innovation, dynamic entrepreneurs who want to build scalable and sustainable enterprises. To elaborate more about AICs, we have with us today Dr. Abha Rishi, CEO of Atal Incubation Center, BIMTech. Dr. Rishi is playing a big role in the field of incubation, innovation, and entrepreneurship. She's a PhD and EEC honors from STVP, Stanford University, PGD IBO, MFT, and MIT. She is one of the few Indians to hold both a Chevening and Fulbright scholarship. So we request Dr. Abha Rishi to share her thoughts on innovation and startup ecosystem. Moreover, we would love to listen about the establishment and functioning of incubation center at BIMTech and how one incubation center can handhold the startups developed at the other institutions around. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Sheetal, for that nice introduction. And thank you, Professor Narang, also for setting the tone. Actually, when you talked about entrepreneurship being the game of the hour, it's actually true. Because if you look at the way the government policies are going today for students as well as any budding entrepreneur, there are more than 43 different schemes which they can utilize. So, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a few screenshots and a few slides because, as they say, an image talks about more than 1,000 words. So let me just share my screen with you. Is it okay, Dr. Sheetal? Because I think that'll be faster because at 10 minutes, I don't want to spend too much talking. I'd much rather look forward to questions later. So let me share my slides. Okay. Just give me half a second to put it back. Because as they usually say, when you are trying to do something fast, then technology takes its own time. That's what usually happens.
Yeah, all yours, ma'am. Take your time.
Yeah. So, yes. Let me see if it opens up. Is it visible as of now?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's coming.
Visible now?
Yeah.
Great. So let me just turn off. So this is the talk show that I'm going to give. I'll give you an overview of the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and then I'll talk about the support from the incubators with reference to, of course, the Atal Incubation Center that we have here. So here is what we have of the India startup economy. I mean, so many beautiful things happening across the country. So if we look at the statistics given by the Government of India, you will see that there are 57,000 Indian startups which have been registered. Now the figure has actually in the last months changed to more than 70,000 Indian startups launched till late. Okay. And $124 billion is the funding raised by startups between 2014 and Q1 of 2022. Huge amount. And 101 Indian startups have entered into the Unicorn Club. We could not think about this like a few years ago, but now the numbers are like drastically increasing. And forget about year on year, it's actually quarter on quarter increase that we are seeing. And $333 billion is the combined valuation of Indian unicorns. So when I talk about this number, the best thing would be to think that if we look at the entire globe, this 333 billion is more than the GDP of many countries in the world. Okay, so you can see the kind of impact that the startups have had. And 4,700 funded startups 1,021 exits through mergers and acquisitions. So that's great, because what it means is that there is a huge interest of the foreign investors to come into India and pick up these good growing startups which are there. And there's a lot of funding also flowing in. So mergers and acquisitions actually help to grow the ecosystem. And 17 Indian startups have got listed. Now that's again not a very simple feat. It's actually humongous. So that's on the one side. On the other side, you will see the graph which is there, the percentage of different kinds of startups. So you have enterprise tech, which is 18.7%, e-commerce is 12.8%, fintech is 12.1%. These are the big ones. These are the big areas which are happening in the Indian startup ecosystem. Okay, so edtech is right now only 8%, but it's growing very fast, right? And have a look at this slide which is there. Can you identify a few names that you can recognize which are out there? So the foodies might recognize something like Licious, and maybe the others who are interested might look at Paytm. Paytm, of course, has become quite ubiquitous in most of our lives. I mean, I don't think there is any Indian whose life has not been touched by Paytm, especially in the metros and the tier 1 and tier 2 cities. And those who are interested in stockbroking, Zerodha is there. So look at it. Look at these 100 unicorns which are there. And I'm 100% sure that many of these names you will recognize. Many of them you will not, because they are into the B2B business, not in the consumer-facing business, which is there. So that's the reason why you don't see many of them around. But otherwise, 100 plus unicorns, not a simple number. And this is the state of the Indian unicorns and soonicorns. Now, why are soonicorns important? Soonicorns are important because these are the companies which are going to become unicorns. And remember, many of our unicorns are also poised to become decacons and hectacons. So वो जमाने गए जब हम सिर्फ unicorns की बात करते थे, अब तो हम unicorn से भी आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. So the entire pipeline is being created, which can actually take India to the next level when we talk about the startup ecosystem. Already, we are the largest ecosystem in the world when it comes to the number of startups being created. And when it comes to the incubation system, we are third in the entire world. हमसे आगे सिर्फ US और China ही है. पहले Israel होता था on the third level, but now we have overcome Israel, and now we are the third when it comes to incubation. Features in among the top cities when it comes to the startup ecosystem. Of course, we are quite a bit behind Bangalore and Mumbai when it comes to this, but we are fast rolling ahead and going to be there. So yes, let me go ahead. Sorry. And this is the journey to the 100 unicorns. Look at the way the graph has gone. Up to 2015, we had only 11 unicorns. 2016, 2 more were added. 2017, 1 more. Then look at the way it has grown from 2020 onwards. Amazing change, right? So for students and others who are thinking about starting on their entrepreneurial journey, these are the best years. जब हम लोगों ने शुरू किया था, when I also started 2 ventures, remember that was the time when starting your own venture meant that you're crazy. I mean, you literally had to be crazy to start your own venture in those days. But then things have changed, and glad to see what is happening in the entrepreneurial ecosystem nowadays. So this is what our Prime Minister also said. Not only startups, but we are also looking at systems for enabling startups. And that's where the ecosystems where we have incubations, incubator centers, all these things coming in, okay? And he also talked about the startup action plan. There are 15 different agenda items, 15 different action items that he talked about. And all of it good, of course, for the startups. So I've not spent too much time on this. If you're interested, just go and Google it. You'll find it. I mean, the startup action plan, which is there, you'll find all these 15 points. But for me to tell you that this is there was my agenda. But of course, all is not hunky dory. Government अपनी तरफ से काम कर रहे हैं, incubators अपनी तरफ से काम कर रहे हैं, but startups have their own issues. Okay, so you have finance issues. I mean, startups usually think that finance and funding is the major problem. But let me tell you, at this point of time, in the startup ecosystem, funding is not a problem. We have a panel of more than 100 investors with us. And what they say is that funding is available. हमारे पास 100 करोड़ की किटी है, हमारे पास 200 करोड़ की किटी है, but we are not finding the right kind of ventures to invest in. So if you're thinking about a venture, don't try to copy paste from what is already there in the market. Think a little bit innovatively. I won't say drastic innovation, but you still need to think a little bit innovatively, right? Whether it's your product, your process, or whatever it is, you still need to think that way. And then, of course, funding, like I said, is available in plenty. So that's one of the challenges which are there. Then regulatory and taxation issues. Again, startups, when they start, बस उनको तो करना है. They forget that the government looks forward to having compliances. भाई आपको टैक्स भरना है, ठीक है, टैक्स नहीं भरना है मतलब इतने पैसे नहीं बनाए, but filing तब भी करना है. So all these things need to be taken into consideration. And then lack of support networks. Metro cities, tier 1 cities, they have lots of support networks. Bangalore ho gaya, Hyderabad ho gaya, Delhi ho gaya, all these places, they have that kind of support systems. But move away a little. हम लोग अभी बैठे हैं Delhi NCR में. Look around you, 50 kilometers away from where you are sitting, you have a completely different environment. वहाँ incubation तो छोड़ो, entrepreneurship की भी बात करोगे तो many people will, I mean, look at you as if you have just come out of the Agra asylum, right? So that kind of stuff is still there. So we have 2-3 different steps which need to be still looked into. Metros mein hai, tier 1 mein hai, but we really need to push into the tier 2, tier 3 and the rural areas. So that's there. Then difficulties in scaling up. Again, what happens? Venture शुरू कर दिया, बढ़िया चल रहा है, मतलब 2 साल 3 साल अच्छे से खूब कमाई की, but then suddenly you realize that as you're expanding, your control becomes less. And you need your team to expand. You need lots of things when it comes to scaling up. शुरू करना आसान है, but उसको एक level से दूसरे level तक लेके जाना मुश्किल है. So that is where you need the right kind of mentoring and the right kind of coaching. And that's where mostly you have incubators and accelerators coming in. Incubators आपको 0 से 1 तक लेके जाता है. Accelerators take you from 1 to 10. So each step of your ventures journey needs a specialized kind of handholding. And that's where you need to look at. And then, of course, lack of planning. And we get something around like 100 applications every day. बस उसमें से हम लोग choose करते हैं less than 10%. Why? Idea सबके पास है. Like we had Dr. Sheetal and Dr. Dev talking about like lots of ideas are there. But those ideas to become real ventures need proper organization and planning, which is not there with many startups. Idea है, but उसको कैसे आगे लेके जाना वो नहीं पता. बस हो जाएगा. Unfortunately, in business, हो जाएगा doesn't happen. You need to have a little bit of planning, right? So that's one of the things. Then marketing. Bottom line of any venture is you have to have revenue. And revenue comes in only through marketing, right? Unless, of course, you have your big daddies and uncles and everybody who can put in money, then it's fine. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. You have to do your marketing properly. And that is one of the challenges. So, and along with that comes building the right team. So how do you build those core assets? I'll put people as assets because each of these assets, if they are right, they'll bring in a lot of synergies to your team and they'll build in a lot of strengths to your organization. वो जरूरी है. We have seen quite a few good ventures fail because the co-founders could not get along with each other and they had to close the venture. Beautiful idea, beautiful venture. But unfortunately, आपस में टकरार. And the core team अगर ठीक नहीं है तो दिक्कत है. And you will be reading about lots of this stuff. So, and finally, and one of the major things that we believe in should be got right is the mentorship point of view. जिसमें unfortunately ये है कि if you look at LinkedIn, 70,000 startups और 70,000 startups के लिए 7 lakh mentors. I mean, everybody who knows anything is a mentor. Unfortunately, getting the right mentor is also a difficult proposition. Because anybody who says mentorship may not be doing it from the right purpose. They have their own agendas. So startups need to be very careful when they're looking at mentors. And that is where incubators and others who have verified mentors come into play, right? So I think I will stop here right now. And I've taken you through a good journey. And if you give me 2 more minutes, I'll talk about what we do as an incubator. Is that okay, Dr. Sheetal?
Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Please go ahead.
Right. So then let me share the one that we have from. So this is our incubator. So we have said that our vision is to create both economic and social impact through entrepreneurship. It's not just economic. Because I personally have seen the difference entrepreneurship can make in the lives of women and those who come in from rural areas and those who come in from a different social strata. Money speaks, simple as that, right? If you have money and if you have the right kind of impact within your own geographical territory, people will respect you. And today, women need that, right? I mean, it's been so many centuries and generations where women have not been allowed to do what they want to do. But with entrepreneurship, they have been able to make that change. Because, like I said, if you have the economic strength, you have the ability to change a lot of things. So this is about us. So in the last quarter, till then, we had around 2,000 applications from across the country. And we also receive a lot of international applications. But remember, we take only less than 10% as our incubators. And the reason being, like I said, most of the ideas are good, but then they have no clue about how they're going to implement. They have no clue about the sector that they are in. That is not the kind of people that we want. If you want to start a venture, we want to make sure that you know about your sector at least. If you don't know where you're going to start it, doesn't make sense. You need to do your homework. Just say, whether you're studying engineering or management, you have to do your homework to understand the foundation and the theories. Tabhi exam pass hote ho. So similarly in entrepreneurship also, unless you do your homework and you do your research, you're not going to become successful, right? And that's what we have here. So these are the different sectors that we take people in. So green tech, agri tech, ed tech.
I need to
FMCG.
interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is not visible. Like you need to open the file so that at least you can see.
Is it? I mean, I thought let me then share it again.
Yes.
I thought it was visible. Just. Is it visible now?
That's it. Yes.
Yes.
Ah, perfect. Oh, you should have told me before. So this is what I was talking about, the vision part of it. Just a second. And then I talked about the next slide where I was talking about the applications. I hope now you can see what we have here. So these are the different sectors which are there that we take the applications from. And this is the screenshot of what we have otherwise. So 25 awards received by incubatees, 14 startups raised funds, and 1.5 million US dollars. I mean, it comes to around 11 crores that we have, that the incubatees have raised from some that we help. And this is one figure that we are very proud of. This 896 jobs, it has now become around 1,000 plus, and 358 trainings, 45 mentors officially onboarded, and we have another 70 unofficial mentors. We don't call them mentors, we call them coaches. So mentors are 360-degree, whereas coaches and guides come in for particular areas. So the ones who are the startups who are slightly ahead, unko chahiye hota hai like finance में या marketing में. So we call these guides and coaches, and 165 events and parties. And this is what we offer, and most incubators do. 4 level पे है, ideation पे, prototype पे, go to market पे, and acceleration पे. These are the 4 areas that we help in. So whichever stage that your startup is in, you can reach out to us with that. This is the team, blah, blah, blah. This is the area that we have, 16,500 square feet. Hamara ye idea, if you come to our incubator, you don't have to worry about anything else. You just have to make sure that your idea is good, you're ready to work on your idea. Everything else, right from your food to your stay, even sometimes to your haircuts, are taken care of by us. Okay? So that's also one of the fun of staying on campus, along with lots of things happening. And this is what we give to our incubatees, free benefits. 90 partners से हम लोगों ने ये curate करके, we have created this for our incubatees. $1.2 million worth of free benefits goes to all our incubatees. तो उसमें AWS credits होते हैं, pay you money होता है, lots of stuff, right? And we also have 60 international academic partners जिनके साथ market access की बात होती है. फिर we do a lot of stuff with international partners. तो जैसे कोरिया के साथ हम लोगों ने एक program किया था where we trained Korean startups on how to market in India. So market access in India. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we do. Canada के साथ करते हैं, and United Nations का एक program है, Young SDG Innovators. So all these things, along with, of course, seed fund funding through the Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, HDFC का परिवर्तन fund मिलता है, I mean, it's a CSR fund, so that's kind of things. So yeah, I thought if I had more time, I'll take you through the different case studies जो आए हैं हमारे पास from tier 2 cities and the kind of impact that they have created. But time is over for me. Thank you so much. And let me know if there are any questions. So over to you, back to you, Dr. Sheetal.
Yeah, thanks,
And
ma'am, for this extended support and insights on incubation center establishment and functioning also. So next vibrant theme of today's discussion is social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is the process by which individuals, startups, and entrepreneurs develop and fund solutions that directly address social issues. A social entrepreneur is a person who explores business opportunities that have a positive impact on the community, society, and the world as a whole. Since we know about innovation and startup ecosystem, we would like to have a deliberation on social entrepreneurship by Ms. Shyama Jha. She is the founder of a social startup, Wow Mom. It is an endeavor to create inclusion by creating livelihood for the tribals of interiors by providing them to work at best possible environment and state-of-the-art machinery without ruining their traditional way of working and living. Over to you, Shyama ma'am.
Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you so much for a short and crisp description. The shorter it is, the bigger it feels for us. So here I introduce myself. I am Shyama Jha from Wow Mom Millet Magic Foundation with our brands Wow Mom Foods. We majorly spread the magic of millet, wherein as just mesmerized by Dr. Abha, whatever she was telling, because I have been recently going round and round through all these processes and very happily being part of it. Being a startup just a year old, we are creating lots of impact and innovations too. As I said, we are creating magic of millet. Currently, we are based in the interiors of Orissa in the Mayurbhanj district, in the foothills of Simlipal Sanctuary, wherein we are having our food processing unit of millet, which is being completely managed by the tribals, the Santhal tribals living over there. They are being trained and they are creating out-of-the-box solution for millet in a way wherein the products are ready to, in fact, they are competing with modern day products, and they are in the market in the name of Wow Mom Foods. We are having in millet category from noodles to pasta to chips to different kind of snacks, savories, and instant foods, and all being made by our people who are from this tribal sector, who are hardly educated person. They just know how to sign, or maybe they don't even know that. And yet they are creating these beautiful products. And so when we sell, we say that we are not only giving healthy ingredients, that we are also adding lots and lots of love along with the ingredients that we are having in. So as Sheetal, what you mentioned, we are in the category of social entrepreneurship, but I am in a very big time trying to create change in the terms of social entrepreneurship also. Social entrepreneurship definitely creates impact in the rural and sectors which need impact. Besides that, to create a complete value chain, that social impact should be very heavily marketed and linked to the urban sectors also, so that not only people get to know about it, but at the same time we create a sustainable and a resilient economy for the people whom we are working with. So Millet Magic Foundation is having we are constantly endeavoring towards creating such kind of things. So with our brand Wow Mom Foods, we have gone through all what Dr. Asha said, and we are yet into it. As I said, we are just a one-year-old organization, and being an innovative product of millet, we are proud to say we are funded by MSME Spurti scheme, and we got a fund of 4.7 crore. And right now, definitely we are part of Startup India, Startup Odisha. We are part of lots of like Ashish University is our current incubation. AIC Nalanda we are working with them also over here. Besides, we are trying to be everywhere, wherever we can be, to create more and more impact, at the same time to create a better and better market for our product. Because only when we work on these two very drastically different directions, we can actually create, as I said, resilient and sustainable economy. So as we are talking about innovation and startup ecosystem, I think right now, this is the best time for anyone who want to start their living and dreaming of their future to get into entrepreneurship. I yet remember 10 years down the line, 10, 12 years down the line, I thought of getting into entrepreneurship, and believe me, I failed like anything. And I don't mind talking about it. Again, I came back to my regular 9 to 5 job. But that gave me an idea. At that time, we didn't have anything, nothing. About 13 years back, we didn't have such a good amount of ecosystem, the startup ecosystem, to handhold the entrepreneurs. But right now, I'm so happy that in just 1 year's time, I have got such a huge amount of support and such a amount of handholding. People call us and talk to us. Okay, you have come to this level, then this is what we can provide you. This is what, and that's such a wonderful system right now. The government and all the ecosystems which are involved with government are doing it. We working in millet in Odisha, we have Millet Mission Odisha also working into it, and the government of Odisha is working very, very readily into it. So we are being called in all the platforms, and they are taking our suggestions and they are helping us to create more. Like recently, we have just closed, just 2 days back, we have closed with government of Odisha. We are coming up with 3 more such out factories across Odisha, where we'll be bringing in more number of millet-based factories and products. And again, definitely the social impact as it is involved with it. So government of Odisha is also joining, and they are looking at entrepreneurs like us to come and take it forward. But the other side of it is that what we have seen in last 1 year, and what I always say, that if the support is there for you, that no way says that you sit and say that, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, now give me a handover. Now, as Dr. Abha is there, you can't go and stand in front of her and say that I want to be an entrepreneur, you give me rest support. No, you have to come up with your ideas. You have to come with very innovative ideas. Right now, entrepreneurship is also full of challenges. We keep attending so many programs, and I see every day, I see so many new products. And we love to collaborate. Be of any sector, we love to collaborate. So what I feel to get into this area, which are very, very important part, is that you have to dream. You have to be like obsession. You have to create an obsession towards your work, whatever you want to do, and you need to be everywhere. You can't think that मेरे को invitation मिलेगा तो मैं जाऊंगा या जाऊंगी. You need to create that invitation also for you, if you feel that platform will help you. So we, in last 1 year, I'll say that there's a cycle which I describe it, that if you have not gone through a cycle which will surely happen to you, is hardship, failures, people will con you, people will make fun of you, they will like to pull you down, you will be losing a lot, you will be cheated a lot. So this is a regular part of entrepreneurship cycle. And if you go through that cycle, then only it means you are moving ahead. So I feel happy to say that I have gone through it 2-3 times in last 1 year. And the number of cycles I complete, I see more and more support coming up to me. So what I mean to say that people who are actually around you, who are supporting this ecosystem, is observing you a lot. And I can say this, I'm telling up from my experience, that people are observing you a lot. So if you are showcasing that even through all these cycles, you are moving ahead, you are smiling, you are going through it, and you are yet standing in front of people who are showing you out a number of times, they also feel that no, these are the serious players, you have to come in. And this, everything what I'm talking about is my story. I tell everyone that you have to be stubborn, you have to go ahead, you can't feel bad about anything. If today is a bad day, you have to start up next day morning that today it will be a good day. Right now, my story in Orissa is called as people say that you are doing very good. I said, no, I am trying. I am yet not in the phase of doing very good. So with our 23 products in millets and yet to come about 26, 27, which we are already ready with, we are waiting for the market. We are ready to expand beyond Orissa right now. And to tell you in next, because most of you are in Delhi and NCR, we are participating in MSME Mela, which is starting from day after tomorrow. And it's a free day. So anybody who are interested to know about our venture, taste our product, because we feel that, we say that when you want to know about our venture, we first taste the product, because that product will tell you the story behind it, which is of about 4,000 smiles, about 16 villages, and about 1,000 plus families. So every bite when you have from our product, you will feel that the taste will tell you how much love and how much compassion has gone inside that. And the other thing what you will see, that even coming from the rural of the area, we are very, very strongly and very serious on the marketing aspect. We started with few packaging what we had initially. Currently, when we are going to Delhi, we are coming up with new packaging of cardboard boxes and tin packaging, because now we are going to showcase in the international platforms. And just to add up, right now we are already in talks with 5 countries. For Australia and PNG, we have already started the export. Georgia, I think we will be starting any day. In the coming month, I'm going to Vietnam for closing the tie-ups there too. So we are moving in a very fast mode to create a market. And I want to very, very strongly break that taboo that a social entrepreneurship will just be in the interiors or in the rural areas. No, I want to create a taboo, get out of that taboo, that social entrepreneurship means creating a solution where villages are linked to the urban sectors, and you create a strategy in such a way where the resilience means there is no stopping of the flow of products from the rural sector till the urban market, and that can be created. Being a marketeer myself, I have gone through 22 years of marketing hardship into the corporates, into malls and retail sector. So I can completely vouch on how marketing is so very important. So as I said, we are present in all across all the sectors of online market, offline, Orissa, definitely we are right now. But as I said, in this 1 year's time, we are ready to take up national and international market now. And that's why we have already started exploring the possibilities of going beyond Orissa boundaries. We are coming up with 3-4 more factories, and these are just created to create a scalability model. We are looking at third-party tie-ups. We are looking at our brand presence across India, franchisee. So we are going all out to do whatever we can to just make it a point that what people say that in 3 years of time, agar aapne bana liya, to you are a success. We have completed 1 year and we are very, very much in the endeavor of saying that we will not go to 3 years. In 2 years, we will create a not only national, but international market too. So the topic what we are discussing over here, I just wanted my experience to be shared because that sums up the complete topic in itself. And I'm sure this will help our budding entrepreneurs to understand that everything is possible in this world. And especially with so much of support we are getting right now. So I think I will sum up with the thoughts that please go ahead, whosoever wants to start their own work, please do it. Anything, any mentorship, there are so many platforms available. Experience you want to understand, you can follow people like us. And if you want to experience the magic of millet, do visit us in Pragati Maidan. We are there from 25th to 27th of August. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shyama ma'am. We are really enlightened from your real-time experience on social entrepreneurship. And I hope that our students will be benefited from your thoughts. Ma'am, one thing before I move to the next speaker, I just want to share one news with the students. Accenture and Microsoft in India are supporting 10 startups out of 33 startups across Asia Pacific region, which focus on social impact and the sustainability, and just helping them to scale their emerging solution and business models. And if I name them few, Jaipuria, Equity, Everwell, Blink Foundation, and Brainside. So these are the startups covered under this project Amplify. So we just want to know about few of the challenges you faced in your startup journey, and how do you see the future of social entrepreneurship in India? Few insights,
Startup
ma'am.
is all about challenges, what I say. As I said, I put my factories in the rural area. So imagine where just moving off, where you see only cattle and goats moving around. There we are standing with our project. So when our big time machines started coming, the trailer going to those areas were also a problem. We have burnt about 4 generators over there because we didn't have electricity. We had to actually fight with the organizations to get the electricity, and for fighting we didn't stop anywhere. Right from bottom till top, we made it a point that we'll shake everything to get the electricity. Yes, fighting does not mean that we were not polite. We were just going very aggressive about it, and we got the support. It took 4 or 5 months, but we got the electricity. Till now, electricity problem is a major over there because we even after electricity came in, we found the voltage problem. In factories, you can't go with it. Again, we fought it out. We got it now. At least voltage is constant, but electricity problem yet exists. So what we have done, we have put LPG generators, not the diesel one because it will affect the current scenario of carbon footprint. So we are having LPG generators. There also we have added an innovation which goes on. So this is about the infra. Besides where we are sitting right now, it's a elephant prone area. There are times when we see elephants in our vicinity. So we have very good rapport with forest guards, and we have lots of forest people also whom we talk to. So they come and help us out. Inside the factory, initially when we were training people, that was also a big challenge. Right now, I feel happy about it. But last year when we started off, we went through so many stories. One of them, I'll just share it with you. We were making noodles. Initially, though, the ladies didn't even approach the machines. They were standing about 20 feet away, and they said, "No, madam, we can't work on machines. We'll just be doing the packagings and all where machines are not involved." I said, in my nothing, none of the things where machine is not involved. But today is the date when I have a noodle machine operator, main operator as a lady, my baker as the lady, my main packaging person as a lady, and we are 70% women workforce. So we are completely women empowered factory area. And right now they are ready to take any challenges that you give us any new machines we can operate. And yes, they do some of the maintenance also on their own. They don't need any other technical person to come and do the maintenance for that. So, but initially it was a big time to take them till the machines and start doing work. Ladies working over there, again, their bangles and all, they will not open it. Saris, we in Orissa know that they want to keep it on their head and their saris keep flowing around. From there, we started little bit of counseling, and today is the day when they are ready to wear the uniforms, proper t-shirt and pajamas and all. They are into those modes now. So initially there were many challenges. Then with ladies coming in, their husbands used to come as powers that my lady will not work beyond 4 o'clock, or they will come only after the work is finished 11 o'clock in the morning. But today is the day when the lady said, none of our husbands can move around in this area also. We will take our own decisions. So definitely, these are like some of the examples which I am saying, especially for social entrepreneurship. Until date, we keep facing the things because there are many people whom we are not able to employ in the factory, but we are trying to give them a secondary by getting into eco-friendly things and all. So you have to be compassionate, what I feel, when you get into social entrepreneurship. At the same time, if you want to give a market linkage, you should be very tech friendly also. So we have been going through all these things and yet innovating, yet our challenges are not over, right? So currently for expansion, we are looking at huge amount of money wherein we are talking to investors and all. Here is also a challenge because we took our fund in, we had to make a trust. Explaining the entire thing to the investors and the bankers is again a big challenge. So we are constantly into the challenge, but we are trying to break it and go ahead with it.
Yeah, we are really enlightened from your real-time experiences and the success story. We can say that in last 1 year, people just have created a huge wealth and funding from the external sources. So it's very motivational, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please be in line for the next round. Now we are moving to our next speaker of the day. With the aim of facilitating and supporting startups, State Bank of India has launched its first startup dedicated branch in Koramangala, Bengaluru. SBI chairman said that this branch will act as a hub to provide end-to-end services to the startups. This branch will cater to the needs of the startups such as treasury solution, wealth management, and the credit needs. So seeing the vast experience of Dr. R.K. Singh in the field of incubation and innovation, we invite him to share a few insights on financial and the government support for startup ecosystem and sustainable entrepreneurship. Professor Singh is the Associated Dean, Innovation and Incubation, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, an entrepreneurship and startup incubation expert, technical advisory board member of Ministry of MSME. Professor Singh is the startup mentor at IIM Indore, KIIT, Startup India, and executive body member of Quality Circle Forum, Varanasi. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. First, I would like to express my gratitude to Professor Deven Narangji, Director of the Jaipuria Institute of Management, Professor Ashwini Varshney, Dean, and you, Dr. Sheetal, IEC President of Jaipuria Institute of Management. You all have chosen a very pertinent topic, innovation and startup ecosystem. And I was hearing two experts and very fruitful discussion on that part. In the initial discussion, we have known about various unicorns and a new term I heard, sunicorn. So that's great. That's a great story. But I would like to tell another story also. In India, in spite of having, before going to the financial dimensions of the startups from the banks and other institutions, in spite of having so much of effort by the government, by the institutions, we should know that within 5 years, 90% of startup got failed. And when it comes to 10 years, just 1 or 2% startups survive. This is a big question. I remember 2 years back, rather 2.5 years back, when we witnessed the pandemic, all of you have seen one scenario on the television that people were coming to their hometown, to their villages from the big metropolitan cities. They were not having the food for even 2 to 3 months. And this has created a big question mark that people who spend 10 years to 20 years in a big metropolitan cities, they are just coming to the villages by barefoot just for the survival of their life. This has created a big question. Since this panel discussion is on the ecosystem, that's what I'm telling you. In our entire development model since independence, the development has been restricted to few parts of the country. We call it development islands. We call it a metros. And we have forgotten the 70%, more than 70% people living in the villages, living in the small towns, cities like Varanasi. We have to develop the rural entrepreneurship. We have to develop the social entrepreneurship. And no doubt, social entrepreneurship can be done anywhere, but the rural areas has to be taken a proper consideration. One of the major thing is that we have seen that industry is doing well in their own domain. Academia is doing well in their own domain. And government is doing well in their own domain. Problem is the interconnectivity. And that's why we have to move through the triple helix model, where these three things should come together. It's good that now we are seeing the Atal incubation centers type of things in India, where the government, academia, and industry is working together. And these needs to be strengthened. Initiative like IAC is a part of that. If you see the ease of doing business index, which is being released by the World Bank, 2 years back it was stopped because of some issues with the China. Our position has improved. In 2014, out of 190 countries, our position was 142. And now by 2020, it has improved to 63. It's good. So far as UP is concerned, again, it has come to second position in the India's ease of doing business index. But 63 position is good for us when we compare from 2014, 142 position. But 62 countries are ahead of us. We should not forget this. We are claiming that we are having one of the best ecosystem, but we should not forget that 62 countries are having a better ecosystem than us in the ease of doing business. I'm telling you a very bitter side of the story also. Second, on the global innovation index, because the majority of the failures of the startup is because we are not having an innovative product. On the global innovation index, again, our position has improved. Out of 131 countries, 5 years back, our position was 112. Now this year, this has improved to 46. Again, it's good, but 45 countries are ahead of us. So far as the innovation ecosystem also, 45 countries are having a better ecosystem than us. We should accept these facts also. Second thing, whether these unicorns, wealth is concentrated only in few hands? Is it properly distributed? Because economic distribution is a very important part for the country like India. Why innovation index? We are having such, because the innovation index is based upon the number of patents filed by us. Every day on the Facebook, on the social media, we academicians claim that our patent is published in the patent journals, because we have to get a API also, we have to get a promotion also, we have to get some selection also. It's okay, no issue. But do you know, out of 100 patents, less than 1% patent is being commercialized into a viable and feasible product? Rest 99% patent is just on the paper. I'm analyzing why we are getting not that kind of result which we should do. See, any innovation is of no use if it is not benefiting a human being, industry, society, or environment. Howsoever we take the patents and we can claim that we are having that much of patents with us, it's okay. But it's of no use. We need a collaborative Ford and Bharat Biotech. Can we have that kind of thing? Are we collaborating with the industry for any innovation? This is important. No doubt, as one of the speaker has very rightly said, that funding is not the issue. In the majority of cases, we have seen funding is available. Since I am associated with the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University also, they are also having a good program for the incubation centers. Recently, they have launched a scheme that they can fund up to 1 crore. But for that, 50 lakh has to be invested by the institution. So no doubt, nowadays, majority of the startups are coming with the crowdfunding. They are coming with the venture capital firms also. And very rightly said, I'm having an experience that venture capital firms say that, okay, we are ready to invest money in your business model. But what exactly your business model is? What is your revenue model? What is your business plan? And here are the things that fail because people are having the idea, they are having some fund, and when they launch it, they face with the cash burn. Mudra, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is there. Even incubation centers are also funding. At Innovation Mission is working in this direction. Startup India Seed Fund is there. Credit Guarantee Trust Fund for Micro Small Enterprises is there. Kate Link Capital Subsidy Scheme is there. Multiplier Grant Scheme is there. Different ministries are having their own scheme. Commercial banks, as just Sheetal Madam has said, commercial banks are also coming that, okay, we are having a fully dedicated center for that purpose. A small farmers agribusiness consortium has been made for providing the venture capital system. So funding is not the issue, my dear students. This is not the issue. Problem is whether you are able to do a proper financial management or not. Issue is that since I've also been invited by various institutions, various entrepreneurship development programs. What actually we do? We organize 1 week, 2 weeks, EDPs. We train the people, we motivate the people. They are on YouTube, you may be seeing so many so-called motivators are there. They motivate the people, it's good. But when a startup starts the venture, a real issue starts later on. And at that time, no one is there to help. They cannot afford the consultants because they don't have that much of money. In my incubation center, although we are not funded by any government institution, I believe that an entrepreneur should be self-sustainable. So we have not taken any money from the government. So we are working on a self-sustainable model. And every year, 2-3 startups comes. And by the grace of God, we are having 100% success rate. Reason is that I spent more than 2 decades in the industry. I myself as a consultant. I provide them a free of cost consultant. And even in IIM Kashipur, I am also consultant. So, okay, this is my ability, but by and large, how many institutions are having that kind of people? Because in academia, you all know, very less people come from the industry. Recently, government has launched a practicing professor provision. It's a good effort. I hope this will give some good results. But our student, what I'm suggesting to all of you, that see one thing, as a consumer, you should think that we don't just buy a product or service, we actually buy a solution. So as a startup, you just don't make a product or service, you have to provide a solution. Just I will take one example, just in 2 minutes I will finish. Just I will take one example. You take a case of Amazon or take a case of Indian case Flipkart. They work on 3C model: choice, convenience, and cost. If you go to Flipkart, you will have a choice of products. You will have a convenience of purchasing. And since middlemen are not involved, so you will be cost beneficiary also. If you go to a physical shopping, your shopping cost is also involved. You know, the fuel, petrol is quite high. Your time is invested. Your time is also money. And these three aspects, 3C model has been adopted by all the e-commerce companies, and you are seeing the success. So you have to come with some sort of model where a solution can be provided. There should be a proper revenue model. There should be a proper business plan. You just get an idea, get some money, you start a business. No, you have to go through a proper business plan. You should have a proper feasibility analysis, the commercial feasibility, the technical feasibility, the human resource feasibility. And a very rightly said, real issue comes when you scale up. The major part involved is the financial dimensions. You just say that I'm working in UP, I will expand in Bihar or Jharkhand or Madhya Pradesh. You know how much pressure comes on your financial part. You have to do a manufacturing, you have to purchase the raw material, you have to have a human resource, you have to invest in the technology. And obviously, you will have a lot of outstanding in the market also, especially in the FMCG products or consumer goods products. So you have to understand the cash flow, you have to understand the basic financial management. So these are few of the things which are very important aspect to understand. And so far as again, I'm saying government is very eager. Government is trying their level best. They are providing all sort of ecosystem for the startup promotion. But my dear friends, you have to work. Just get the money and start a business is not a wiseful idea. Incubation centers are there everywhere. Incubation centers are opening. You can take the help of an incubation center, but at the end of the day, whatever you're doing, you should not be a copycat. You should be innovative. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this description. This information will work as a stepping stone in the startup journey of our MBA students, as we're also promoting few startups and few ventures in our institution. Now, from the discussion of the panel members, we got some hints like there is a huge debate on the points how to create innovation and entrepreneurship skill in the non-technical students, such as we have the management students with us, because technical students are better in connecting with the technical problems and the commercial solutions. Moreover, the percentage of male versus female entrepreneurs also varies. Women entrepreneurs do know better. Only 14% of Indian women own or run their businesses, and out of which 90% of the companies run by women are micro enterprises or self-financed. So we request Aisha ma'am to share valuable thoughts on gender and diversity aspects of entrepreneurship in India. Dr. Aisha Jain is a professor of finance and entrepreneurship in Ilam University, Gurgaon. She is the recipient of Eminent Educationist Award, Young Women Educator, and Scholar Award. She has worked as a president of IIC of the North Cap University previously. She is a strong proponent of entrepreneurship among youth. Over to you, Aisha ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheetal, for the kind information and instruction. So you asked me about the gender and diversity aspects of entrepreneurship in India. And, India has low representation of women in leadership positions in the workforce, but more women are seeking entrepreneurial opportunities compared to. The conclusion is part of a report based on an analysis of anonymized and aggregated profile information of users on professional networking site LinkedIn, which has around 88 million users in India and 830 million users worldwide. According to LinkedIn data published in the World Economic Forum's 2022 Global Gender Gap Report, the share of women founders grew 2.68 times between 2016 and 2021. In comparison, the share of men founders grew only by 1.79 times during the same period. So the figures are in terms of founders and the founders of startups. So the growth rate of women entrepreneurship was its highest in 2000. Women in leadership roles in the workforce is around represented in leadership roles. Women are also not being promoted internally to leadership in companies at the same rate as men. So as many as 42% men are more likely to be promoted into leadership positions than women. So this could explain why women in leadership roles also increasingly lag behind their male counterparts in senior stages of their careers, with the proportion of women in the workforce decreasing along the corporate ladder. In India, the representation of women leaders dropped from 29% at the senior level to a staggering 18% at the managerial level. Now, the main obstacles for women entrepreneurs to start their own business due to gender-specific barriers are the lack of access to opportunities, then including over control of capital, then privatization of lands and premises. Impact of the entrepreneur has a positive impact on the product and process innovation of small enterprise. And 20, the chances product innovation are higher by 83.7%, the process innovation by 56%, and the product and process innovation together by 82.1% in the group of small enterprises managed by female entrepreneurs. So that is how women entrepreneurs in the women at the leadership roles in the startups are contributing in India. So ma'am, you are mute.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for this short and crisp information about diversity in entrepreneurship area, and especially in the Indian context. So now it's time to move back to the social and sustainable entrepreneurship. We have with us the last speaker of the day, Mr. Kunal Shah. Ventures contributing substantially to the sustainable development with the core businesses are called sustainable entrepreneurs. And Dr. Kunal Shah, Mr. Kunal Shah is one of the sustainable entrepreneurs. Sustainable entrepreneurship is the opportunity oriented aimed at generating new products, services, production processes, techniques, and organizations mode which substantially reduce social and environmental impacts and increases the quality of human life. Few notable startups: Fool, one biomaterial startup; Banyan Nation, one waste management company; Junroof, a leading solar energy startup. These are the startups which are known as the sustainable startups in India, and they are backed by various government initiatives. So government is also promoting these sustainable startups. So we would like to hear from Mr. Kunal Shah about the theme of sustainable entrepreneurship. Let's welcome Mr. Kunal Shah, who is the founder of Innovate Consultant Limited Liability Partnership, a premium service provider in the space of IP protection, licensing, contract, open source compliance, legal and regulatory affairs. Kunal is also functioning as a co-founder and mentor at Innovate Academy, which is creating experiential learning platform for the professionals of tomorrow. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sheetal ma'am. Thank you for the introduction. It's really a good discussion. Dr. Ava actually discussed about, important insights and ecosystem at startup. She rightly mentioned that those were the days when, starting a startup was a crazy idea. The generation started with a government job, then it moved to private job, and now the era is of startups. Also, like, Shyama ma'am is doing so well with a really impressive idea. I would actually congratulate her for doing a great job. Now, when we talk about startup, the first thing that comes to mind is differentiator, right? You should have some differentiation with the current market. Otherwise, it's a normal company, not normal, a new company, not a startup. So when we say startup, there should be a differentiator. Now, when we say differentiator, it actually gives birth to innovation, right? So let's take a famous example of Steve Jobs, who founded a company that was for a PC. It had a differentiator. Later, it was actually, Steve Jobs was fired by their own board of directors. He opened his new company that was Next, right? So Next again had some innovation in that. Because of innovation culture, Next grew so well that later Steve was brought to the older company to run his own company, right? The older one. Now, when Steve actually joined the company, he was more concerned about the differentiator. Now, in this company also, he started up with a new idea, and he came up with Apple iPhone in 2007. So that was a startup for him. And of course, that disrupted the whole mobile market across the globe. When you see the data, the iPhone was launched in 2007, but patents were filed 3-4 years earlier, which actually helped Steve Jobs to remain the differentiator, leave the market, because no one can actually enter in that particular domain. So in short, what I want to say is, if you are starting up, start up with some solid differentiator. Give time, research on this, and then start some differentiator, give a solution, and that solution will be an innovation. We have seen a number of companies who grew because of their just innovation. You can see Apple, just we discussed, Amazon, Uber, Flipkart. Amazon, as even Dr. Raz, described about Amazon, the CCC formula. So had they followed traditional business process, they would have still be a part of crowd and not the leader. Now, since they have innovation culture, they have innovation ecosystem, they are the leaders. Well, innovation is important to for the startup. It also needs to the startup also needs to work on the innovation continuously. I'll give you some examples. If you don't innovate continuously, what happens? If you don't build a proper innovation ecosystem, you may touch the grounds in no time, because one superior technology would conquer your whole market. For example, Kodak. It was a market leader in film market, right? But they failed to innovate in digital world. They underestimated that digital world would ever come in film market, and now they are zero. Similarly, Nokia. Nokia actually created the first cellular network. It was a market leader on mobile phones. But since they arrived late in smartphone domain, it actually vanished. You don't see Nokia phones anymore. Similarly, Yahoo. Yahoo was it started with a search engine, but it underestimated search. It could not basically monetize the content, and they actually focused on advertisement for revenue. Whereas Google, researched and developed a new technology for search, for monetizing the content, and now you don't see Yahoo anymore. One more example I'll take: BlackBerry. BlackBerry was, a pride moment when you hold a BlackBerry. It was like you are one of the famous guy or richest guy, right? Now, because they came with new technology that was keyboard, mobile phones, they were market leaders. But they failed the smartphone technology, and now you don't see BlackBerry phones. So, with all these, all these examples, what I want to say here is, if you don't continuously innovate, if you don't have that particular ecosystem, it may happen that you'll rise and you'll fall suddenly. So it's important to develop that ecosystem. Ecosystem can be developed by anyone. I don't agree that a MBA graduate cannot innovate. Actually, the MBA graduate is one of the most important factor for the innovation, because they have the research capability, they know the market, they understand the customers, they know the requirements, they can evaluate what is the solution. So it is a very important role for MBA graduates to basically research on these kind of area. Well, innovation is of course important for not only growth and sustainability, as I told you. The important stuff is to place your innovation at the right time. Because if you're late, as Nokia did, you are late forever. A good example for continuous innovation can be seen in Netflix. So Netflix started with, DVD. It was a DVD seller, right? While Blockbuster was busy, was actually feeling pride to call people in their physical location to entertain people. Netflix was busy delivering DVDs to home. Now, first Netflix actually conquered Blockbuster. Then they actually, innovated the new OTT technology. So it's a continuous development from their side, and what I see that they are doing pretty well. Now, I told a number of examples. Now I'll just discuss about the role of MBA graduate for important strategy making while you are a IT strategist or you are a business entrepreneur. As Dr. Raj said, he rightly said, out of 100 patents, only one patent is meaningful. Now, the question is why? There are a number of factors. Not all, ideas that, okay. So when you start, when you plan to start up, you come up with numerous ideas. And the first thing that comes in your mind, protect this idea, file a patent, right? Now, filing a patent is not a cheaper job. It's a costly job. And if it is a cheaper, you are giving your innovation to a wrong person. I'll tell you frankly, it's a costly affair, because patent is not only patent rights. It's a development. It's a resource that is required. It's a money that is required, right? And as a startup, you don't have that much flexibility. So you have to basically plan where to file, what to file, when to file. It may happen that your idea is not even sustainable for 2 years. You have to properly research that. Yes, of course, after 2 years, this idea can be obsolete. In that case, your patent right is getting granted after 4 years, and you are waiting for 4 years. The new technology will supersede. So it's important to see the timelines. Now, not all ideas should be protected. Reason being, not all idea can be commercialized. Not all ideas can be practical. So if you have the timelines, you have the process map that how you will get a innovation, how you will get the patent rights, and how you will commercialize, I would suggest don't go for patent filing if you don't have this particular process plan. Without this process plan, that patent is just a piece of paper. Understand this. It's a piece of paper. You guys have heard about Six Sigma. There's, there are a number of activities happening where you get customer voice of customers. From voice of customers, these are MBA graduates who use Six Sigma to develop a technology, develop a solution to whatever problems their customers are facing. So it is important for MBA graduates to be strategists at that particular level, where the solution will be a market leading solution, where the solution would be actually a differentiator, and it can be commercialized. So I'll not take more time. I mean, this is what I wanted to share, that filing a patent is a brainstorming job. Let's take it very seriously, and let's not file anything or everything, because it's a waste of money in that case.
Yeah, thank you so much for this value addition, Kunal sir. Actually, from all the speakers, we got diversity of the ideas and the hints for our MBA students, how we can go for the social entrepreneurship, how the government is ready to help the budding entrepreneurs. And we had one success story from the founder of one social venture. And besides that, we had a clue about the incubation centers and the accelerators around who can help us throughout, right? So it was a wonderful discussion in the first round of this panel discussion. Now we are moving to the next round, and we would like to have a deliberation or some question and answers round. So my first question is to Dr. Abharishi ma'am. Ma'am, the question is very simple, and it's a very pertinent question on the behalf of the management faculty: how we can nurture and motivate our students towards entrepreneurship at college level, because this is a challenge and students are more interested in having placements from the institution. Though the support system is there, the institutions are ready, and we have the incubators around. So how we can nurture and motivate them?
Well, Dr. Sheetal, you reminded me of the time around 15 years ago when we started the ESL here in BIMTech. So at that point of time, we just had 6 students who had come to us out of 800 plus students. I mean, now of course the numbers have grown. So 6 students out of 800 plus, and that was it. But the next year we had something like 120 students applying for getting into ESL. And the third year, we had more than 400 applications. So what did we do? I mean, first of all, what we made sure was that we did not make entrepreneurship into theory. We kind of took these practices which are there, made them into fun games. And through those games, we made sure that the students understood the various practices which are there. So let me give you one simple idea which is there. We called it Udyami, right? And this was a 3-day kind of business festival that we had, in which students had to bid for their stalls. So putting the skin into the game. So right from the day one, they have to put the skin into the game, because the money they have to put in. Then what they had to do, they had to look at the entire logistics of getting in the material for them, the inventory management, the planning, the logistics, the marketing, the branding. I mean, all aspects of management they learned in those 3 days when they were trying to sell the products and services they had. And at the end of it, we then had a debriefing, making them understand like what they did through the 3 days and how it is relevant to entrepreneurship. So we talk about like the pyramid which is there, which starts with the products and the services, and finally you have the experience at the top. So how do you like create? So the same, what do you call 25 rupee kind of coffee which is there, you can also sell it for 250 at the top of the pyramid. So how do you go about it? So all these things that students can learn were put into that particular event, and similar events were created. So getting them interested is the first point. Now, many of them may not want to actually take the risk of starting their own ventures because family-wise, and there are lots of challenges that students face. So let's understand that. But at the same time, let's try and inculcate those skill sets, that entrepreneurial mindset which is there. And once they get that bug, they'll be willing to do it much later. And otherwise also, we don't tell our students to start their venture right off just getting off the management thing, because many of them have student loans. यहाँ पे entrepreneurship खुद ही risk है, ऊपर से अगर study loans को आपको payback करना है, so it becomes a double pressure on them. So what we tell them is go and work in the areas where you want to start your ventures. जिस sector में आप अपना ventures खोलना चाहते हैं, go and work in that. Get the experience, get the network, and then come back and start. So we have a lot of alumni coming back and starting their ventures. So that's how you build up the entire feeling among the students, build up the ecosystem, and getting people to talk about their success stories or even failure stories. We have this concept that only success stories need to be told. No, failure stories also need to be talked about, because there is much more learning from failures rather than success stories. Understanding what went wrong and how that can be avoided. So these kind of things. So I hope I have given you a little bit of an insight on what we did.
And no, ma'am, actually, it's a perfect answer. And I was looking for these answers, since long back. This is the thing, first of all, we need to be satisfied. Then we can satisfy or we can answer our students, right? This is the way, and this is the reason why we should move for, entrepreneurship and the other kind of things. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, my next question is to Shyama Jha, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please provide your view on the role of responsible innovation in sustainable entrepreneurship model? As we heard your story, it was quite interesting. In the very first year, you got such a huge turnover and the funding also, right? So what is the role of responsible innovation?
How to define a responsible innovation, because for an entrepreneur, for a person who is coming up with their ideas, for everything they think of, that is definitely thought of in a very responsible way, and it is innovative. But what I can define it right now after a 1 year of moving ahead with an innovation which I'm carrying, I feel what was the thing which made my innovation as a responsible one was because in current date, what is very, very important with so many entrepreneurs and startups coming in, you have to, for your innovation and to make it responsible, you have to make it a complete value chain model of that innovation. So it should add up each and every sector of the cycle of your product or services that you are bringing in. And it should have an explanation and at least 3-4 ways of going ahead with it for each and every step in that cycle. So responsible innovation is something which takes care of the complete ecosystem of their innovation, and which involves specifically the people who are dependent on the innovation. Right now, I say I have about 1,000+ beneficiaries with me who are dependent on that. Besides, I have in different towns people working on me. So all these are people whose responsibility lies on me, and my innovation should always stand up and support them. Besides, a responsible innovation is something wherein it should always take the responsibility of failure and success, whatever it is happening, and keep going ahead with it. Right now, I think second, third time I'm talking to about 100+ people over here representing my foundation. I have been representing this in n number of platforms. But by any chance, if I feel that I have to step back, I don't have that choice right now with me, because I am taking the responsibility of this innovation, and I have to at least bring it to one level where I say that, okay, this was a complete value chain which I created, and I should take it up in a very, very positive way. So I feel an innovation will be a responsible one once you keep taking care of each and every step of that innovation, a complete value chain, thinking of how much it can create right from revenue till the impact, and especially how much support that gives to a society. I think that is.
Yeah, from your answer, we got one understanding. Let's say we need to be innovative, we need to be creative. At the same point of time, we need to be responsible for the society and for the deeds that we are doing. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Now we are moving for our next question, and next question is to Kunal Shah. As sir elaborated about, the patents and the IPR registrations in the domain of social entrepreneurship, we just want to discuss about the challenges and the capacity building related to sustainable and social entrepreneurship. As sir is busy or is doing the regulatory compliances, we just want to listen, how do you maintain and how do you invest in the capacity building related to sustainable entrepreneurship? Kunal sir?
Okay, so Sheetal ma'am, what happens if you are IP firm or IP company? The most important thing is innovation inside your company. So regulatory stuff is something like manual job, right? But what we are investing here is we are preparing a customized software to do it automatically. So getting the data, now the game is of data, right? So getting the data from a number of sources, uh, computing it and filing it where exactly it has to be filed. Uh, Once we are done with this particular software and testing, we can actually, give it to the society. Of course, I mean, there'll be some revenue model involved, but it will ensure that each and every person file the taxes. Say, for example, taxes. They are not non-compliant. Okay. So basically, the patent is, the jurisprudence of the patent is the government gives you the right, exclusive right to use that, not to use that, but to exclude others. And in turn, after 20 years, you give that particular advanced technology to public for free, right? So innovation and social development goes hand on hand here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Kunal sir. Now I'm moving to the last question of the day, and the question is obviously from Professor R.K. Singh. Sir, we had a lot about the government support and the financial support system in India. How it is going to influence the status of social entrepreneurship and economic growth of India? So we would like to listen about the economic growth and the financial performance aspects with the help of some facts and figures, so that our students can also get insights.
See, when we talk about the social entrepreneurship, the basic concept of economy which comes is the inclusive growth. Means the thing should reach to the last person of the society. I would like to give one example, very classic example of the Jan Dhan Yojana, which was started by the Honorable Prime Minister. Earlier to that, nobody in the rural area especially, or the people who belongs to the below poverty line, was thinking of having a account in the bank. At that time, people were not able to understand why it is happening. Another innovation was the Aadhaar card. I'm not talking in political terms. It happened in some others region. And this Jan Dhan Yojana was started in another region. How this entire two system has been interlinked, that government benefit should go to the last man of the society. So what happened, every government scheme in the Manrega, if you remember, that was one of the excellent initiative. So far as this I also call as a social entrepreneur aspect to develop the people. But when the Comptroller and Auditor General report has come, that was surprising that only 23% benefit is coming to the people. Rest 77% is being siphoned off. So when all these schemes were interlinked with the Aadhaar card, now everything is transparent. So now whatever government scheme is coming, whether it's a subsidy part or it is anything else, this is coming on the record. Everything is on the database. So what happens when you talk of the social entrepreneurship, basically this is here, see, it is not like a commercial business model where you work on an innovation of a product to get profit. Here, the problem of a society is being addressed, and on that basis, the social innovation models are being developed. Whether it's the case of sanitary napkins, this can be one aspect. One of the classical example is of the Sulabh Shauchalaya. 40 years back, when this was social order, but he has done that. And when Prime Minister Modi ji has started the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, we have realized, now we are starting realizing that what is the need of all these things. So this is what, this was actually to solve the problem of the society. And when you try to solve the problem of society, actually you are reaching to the last person of society and you are reaching to the inclusive growth of the society. India basically having a socialist model where the society has to be on the top. In our democratic model, if you see, the society has been mod. I would like to give credit to late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji when he has thought of the Panchayati Raj democratization on the village level. And now we are seeing everything is being worked on the village level. Leave the corruption and other issues is a part of the system. We are not going to discuss on these points, but we have to develop that system where the social entrepreneurs are having an ample opportunity. A country like India, where we are having so much of diversity, so much of gap, social gap. I think the future of social entrepreneurship is too much. And problem, the problem is the tangibility. Because in other startup model, the tangibility is very clear that, okay, you start a company and you become a unicorn. But a social entrepreneur cannot claim to be a unicorn. You have to see the difference in the society, and it happens over a period of time. When Sulabh Shauchalaya movement was started 40 years back, now we are seeing the difference. So we have to judge the different social entrepreneurial model on a different parameters. This is what actually I want to say.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. It was a very clear and crisp answer to the question I raised. Now, I would just like to, put some light on the key learnings. My key learnings from these 5 speakers. We heard about the incubation centers and the innovation startup ecosystem in India. We had a lot about the social entrepreneurship and sustainable entrepreneurship, and at last Professor R.K. Singh enlightened us with the government support and the financial ecosystem of India. So the students, you had ample material with you today to think about, and how you people are coming to this MBA program, and you can also have your own ventures. You can also think on the ideas. So now you are equipped with huge information. You can think in the domain of commercial startups as well as in the domain of social entrepreneurship. So now for formal vote of thanks, I would like to invite Dr. Devi Archana Mohanty, our convener IIC. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon. Yes. So let's say it's not a vote of thanks. Let's say it is not a closing. Let's say this is a beginning of the discussion towards, like, when our country is going up in the scale. So we should say that this is a beginning of the discussion towards entrepreneurship, towards innovation, towards startup, right? Now, I believe that, like, with all the speakers, if they agree with me, I believe, like at Jaipuria, we believe that, like, see, we need to instill a kind of bug of entrepreneurship or startup or innovation in our students, right? Because our students, they are in the receiving end. Now, this discussion is going to be, with all your consent, I must say, this discussion is going to be an asset for them. When they will hear this discussion, they are going to have a basic idea on the kind of things. I must say, Dr. Ava Rishi, when she started with all the kind of information, insightful information about innovation and entrepreneurship, this was really exciting. Now, our students might have learned and gained many information from her presentation. So thanks to you, Dr. Ava Rishi, for your precious time. You have given, I can say, you have spared your precious time with us, with our students. And now let me come to Ms. Samaj Jha. So she does not need any introduction because like she has already proved herself in the market. Now, the kind of area she is coming from, even I also come from the same area, the kind of struggle she is having, the kind of challenges she is facing day by day, day to day, like she is talking to people who do not understand a single word of entrepreneurship, of innovation. Let's forget about startup. Now, I must say, she has rightly proved herself, like what to say, like we need to talk about startup in tribal areas with tribal women. Now this is a real challenge. This is a real life challenge. Thanks to you, Ms. Samaja, and thanks to you again for giving us a kind of like giving us the idea about responsible startup, responsible founder, responsible social entrepreneur. Thanks to you, ma'am. Now, let me come to Dr. Rajkumar Singh. Like when he gave his consent, I was quite excited. Yes, we'll be having a like good time in the discussion. And rightly, he has proved this. Because when I was going through his profile, I was going through all the sessions he was having, I was quite hopeful that yes, he is going to give us a kind of insight, information to our students who does not know anything about, because they all have ideas. The same thing we all are discussing. The objective of this panel discussion was to set a discussion towards innovation, towards entrepreneurship, so that our students, they should learn something, right? So Dr. Professor Rajkumar Singh, he has proved it. Thank you for your contribution for this panel discussion, sir. Now I must come to Mr. Kunal Shah for your time again. I sincerely give my thanks to you on behalf of our institute that you have given your time to us. Very straightforward in his information. He said very clearly, you cannot file for a patent with a mere idea. It has to be like the idea has to be an idea, the idea, right? So you cannot file a patent with any kind of idea. And patent, yes, he repeatedly said like patent is a costly affair. So we need to take precaution when we are when you are thinking about patent filing. Thanks to you, sir, for your contribution. Now, Dr. Jain is not there, but I must acknowledge her contribution in the panel discussion because she had a very brief presence, but I must acknowledge her presence. Now, I must thank my institute and Honorable Director, sir, for supporting us, for motivating us for this panel discussion, and for motivating us to contact such brand, I must say, fire brands of innovation in the field of innovation, in the field of entrepreneurship. So thanks to you, sir, for your motivation. And I sincerely pay my gratitude to the entire Jaipuria academics, all the faculty members, and our deans, Dr. Vandana Ahuja and Dr. Aswini Varsini, for all the support, constant support. And not to forget about Dr. Ajay Tripathi. He has been throughout with us. Thank you, sir. Now, last but not the least, students, our dear students, you have been there, you have been listening to us because the entire discussion is for you. From this discussion, you can learn and you can get an idea that your institution is very keen. I must say that our director is very keen towards creating an ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship. So our students must learn when you are coming to the campus, you should have that idea that yes, when you have the idea, we have the mentors with us. And with your consent, I must say, we are getting all the mentors here. Dr. Abha Rishi, Dr. Rajkumar Singh, Ms. Sama Jha, Mr. Kunal Shah. So we are going to get your hand-holding, your support throughout. With this, I end here. Thanks to all of you. Wish you all the best for all your future ventures.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam, for inviting us. And as you have told, since I'm also part of your university, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University. So this is my moral responsibility also as a Associate Dean Innovation Incubation. I'm always with the Jaipuria Institute of Management. Whenever you need any of my help, please feel free, because I am from your university and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam University is always ready to help all the affiliated colleges, including the Jaipuria, is a very reputed institution. And this will be my honor to get associated with you to help the students to get incubated and help you to produce the startups. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab.
Thank you.
Dr. Devin, sir, for your invitation and all the entire team of the Jaipuria Institute of Management. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
to
you,
all the
team
Thank you.
Jaipuria.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
All
you.
the
Thank you.
panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.